additional line we're going to go around. We're on joint effort today with some friends here in Sand Hollow, beautiful Sand Hollow. There's the lake. Some more friends behind us. This feels terrible. I feel like I'm laying on my back. Oh, Tom, Tom.
This is what we couldn't make. You're right in the front, left on the rear. All of that crap in the Work your rear a little bit while sucking it down. Okay, turn into it a little. Right there, try that. On fire.
Oh. What do I do?
Where's your fire extinguisher? Where is it? There's not one on
we
it.
don't have one.
Oh, fire extinguisher, Randy!
Right here. Pull the pin. Ready to pull it?
I think I pulled the pin.
Oh, that's good.
You get it? Yeah, I think it's out. Before the extinguisher? Oh, the extinguisher did one. Are you feeling okay? Hasn't lit on fire yet.
I think we should not push our luck. Well, it's up to you.
What are you thinking? Check it out a little more?
I'm thinking we should figure out why it caught on fire the first time.
Probably ought to replace that hose. What do you think the hose where it connects to today? I think it's the feed hose from the reservoir to the pump. It's got to be compromised inside the hose someplace, because when you build up pressure, it maybe blows through. When you're actuating, because it doesn't have really any leak at all until you're moving a lot of fluid,
Pressure on it.
and
It's getting hot too.
then it got hot.
So that
I
fluid
thought I'd just
gets
get a new
really
hose.
thin.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm just going to replace that hose.
Yeah.
Got squished that first time.
All right.
I think it's probably compromised inside someplace,
Yeah.
and whether it's got a little pinhole that's wicking back up through the outer shield or something.
You guys can do it.
No, I mean, no big deal.
It's up to you guys. I don't mind.
Let's go eat.
Okay. Nobody ever said we don't keep things interesting. So you want to tell that camera what happened to you?
We caught on fire. That's what happened to us.
She's a little salty about it too.
So we just got off a joint effort. Something's going on with the car, and it caught on fire, and that was kind of scary.
Like legit caught on fire.
Like legit caught on fire. It doesn't seem like anything's damaged. We're gonna check it out when we get back. But it was scary. My heart's still pounding. I'm a little shaky, but everything's fine. Everybody's safe. Everybody's good. So we're good to go. Lots of dirt, because that's the first thing that Tom thought of to grab and throw on the fire to put it out, was the sand out there, and thankfully there was a lot of it because we got it put out that way. So thanks for coming along with us, and we'll, I'm sure, see you in the garage a little later while we tear this thing apart and figure out what's going on.
All right, so back in the echoey garage. So we're gonna assess the damage. We've got the hood off so far just because I was super impatient. And it looks like we've scorched the overcoat on these wires. But it doesn't look like we got any of the wires from the throttle at all. That looks like it's a little crispy, but nothing major. These hoses are all in good shape. Nothing wounded there. Little on the crispy side, but nothing burnt through. The best I can figure is it's still...
Not up in here.
No damage up in there at all. I mean, nothing.
This was the side plate. This has got some burn.
Yeah, it scorched the heat shielding on the side plate a little bit.
What about down in here?
No, this has heat shield around it. Some rocks in there from all the dirt we threw in. This is all heat shielded. The O2 sensor's fine.
Right there.
Anywhere. Yeah, that's the bottom of the throttle. The pedal position sensor. It doesn't look like it's burnt through, it just burnt the overcoat.
So tell us what happened, because I'm sure the footage of what actually happened is not great.
So we got hung up on one of the last obstacles on joint effort. I got pinched in and we were having to work the steering front and rear pretty hard. And the steering wasn't super happy. It was making some noise, but I didn't think too much of it. We ended up climbing up, everything was fine. We got up on the flat, and after we rolled out on the flat, I saw a flash from right down by my feet, and that's when the chaos ensued. We had fire shooting up from behind the panel next to my foot, and I was trying to get the car stopped and get Shannon to get out of the car. I was more worried about her getting out of the car and making sure everything was all right with her than I was the car. The car can be replaced, it's just stuff. And we literally talked on the drive into Sand Hollow about tomorrow needed to go pick up a fire extinguisher and get it mounted, and we were one day too late. We needed a fire extinguisher today. So we ended up, I just grabbed a handful of dirt and chucked it over the edge, which pretty much put the fire out except for the one piece on the wiring and the hose there that was leaking. And I reached in and wiped the fire off, and it was still a little tiny fire. Randy came up with a fire extinguisher. We pushed the button on it and it went poof. One little puff of stuff out of it, and then nothing. Fire extinguisher showed that it was charged, everything looked good. It wasn't. So It sounds like he's gonna have his fire extinguisher recharged because he's now concerned. Obviously it's used, so it needs to be redone anyway. We're going to be going to shop here and buying one, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and replace that entire hose from the PSC reservoir all the way down to the pump. I don't know, it's gotta be compromised, it's gotta have a leak or something in the hose. We changed the clamps, we've done everything we know of to do, and it still appears to leak. So let's go see what we can find. So excuse the sand hollow dirt over everything. So something in here, you can see the amount of oil that's still in here. So something in this hose right there is leaking back around it. Even with 2 hose clamps on the top of that thing, something there is leaking. So we're gonna have to clean all this off in the morning and do some investigation. I think at this point, for my sanity, I'm just gonna replace that whole hose. I don't know if we can find a PSC fitting here locally to replace the fitting as well, but at this point, I would rather spend some money and replace some parts than light it on fire again. Fire wasn't very much fun. It caused some high heart rate. Shannon, what was your heart rate?
143.
143. That's pretty rapid, the bunny rabbit heart. So we're gonna get after this in the morning. We're gonna get out of the shop, I think, for tonight. I don't see any other scariness in here. I mean, as far as having a fire, we sure got lucky. We'll bring you back when we know a little more. We'll see what we can find.